see him, they get too familiar with him. It becomes almost a casual encounter to see the president, hence such things happening.
Well, you know, it will depend on a leader's style of leadership and addressing, you know, Kenyans from the top of a vehicle. That is the easiest way because it doesn't have a lot of logistical challenges. So my position would be not to ask the president to stop doing his grassroots rallies because that is his style of leadership, but to ensure that his security team is alert, to ensure that such kind of an incident doesn't happen again. As Mheshimiwa has indicated, the president is the symbol of national unity. And it appears that it was just one of the young men in the village who decided to throw a stone. But assuming it was a scientific approach to what he did, as Mheshimiwa has indicated, that assuming maybe there was even a grenade inside or there was something which is been made to detonate upon impact on using his hand, then today would be in a crisis. So the one has got valid expectations that the members of his security team, instead of just running around and displaying the heavy weapons, at every point in time they must do scenario analysis and do sensitivity analysis and find out what are the potential threats and mitigate them. And again, you know, this is not the first time that you're having this kind of an incident. I remember not a long time ago, President Kenyatta faced a similar incident, but the response by his security team was immediate. They formed a human shield around him. And in fact, the President Kenyatta went ahead with his speech. Then also there was the case of George Bush when he was in Iraq, and I think one of the journalists decided to throw a projectile in the name of shoes. He did the first one, and it would appear that President George Bush was very alert because in fact he dodged the first shoe and then he dodged the second one. So for him, unlike President Ruto, he did not attempt to block the shoe because you remember we are told from basic physics that in fact an attempt to block the shoes could even activate something and then it becomes disastrous. So at the end of the day, maybe the fellows who are in charge of a security team must sit back and ask themselves, what are the lessons learned from that incident and how do you ensure that it does not occur again? And it's important to realize that this must not be limited only to President Kenyatta. It's everybody within, President Ruto. It's everybody within the territory of Kenya. Because one can easily say that that was an attempt on the president's life because you may think that it's actually a normal shoe, but we know that some shoes are not normal. We've got very crafty guys. The shoe can be modeled in a certain way that upon impact, it detonates. And also we had the death of the MP4 Kasipul. So people are asking if the president can be exposed in this manner. If a member of the National Assembly with bodyguards has been exposed to this manner, then what happens to the normal morale? Are we safe in the nation? So I think, while it appears that it's something very small that you can wish away, but the relevant security organs must sit back and ask themselves, what are the implications of these two incidents? Because, I mean, MPs have got bodyguards. Mm-hmm. So would one say that maybe the bodyguards were not alert, that maybe the bodyguards have become lazy in their assignments, in their responsibilities, or they become too casual? But again, you ask another important question, that as the president behaved in a manner that in showing watu wameanza kumzoea sana. You recall that when President Moi was running the nation, there was a lot of respect for the institution of the presidency. And I remember then I was a cab reporter. Even covering the president, there was a certain phobia. You see the president, you even begin to tremble because there was some sort of an enigma. Even for President Kibaki, his public events, they were measured. There was a bit of a protocol. But at the moment President Kenyatta went to office, I think they decided maybe to demystify the presidency. But in the process of demystifying the presidency, the President Kenyatta and President Ruto have now made the presidency a laughing stock. Because even some of the things you see on social media, even the way the people, the kind of nicknames they give the president, while there's freedom of speech, freedom of organization, freedom of movement, but we must respect that institution as our symbol of national unity. You know, in some places, like in the UK, like yesterday, they were celebrating the VE Day. You see, there's a lot of respect for the monarch, that people really respect the symbols of national unity. So I don't know whether still we have a GHC in schools.
Okay. And allow me to bring in Joe Mutambu to this conversation. Joe Mutambu is a former